with fab bombs that we were talking about, the Ukrainians aren't able to hold back, and this oncoming tide of the Russians, which ebbs.
Hello and welcome to this DEFCON2 2v2 Warno game hosted by YS. And today we're on Tension. These are the DEFCON2 2v2 Warno qualifiers. I am in this tournament. $50 have been donated from me to the tournament, and that's your money going to the tournament. So you should give me more money. Or you can give the tournament money directly, and then I won't embezzle half of it. So today we've got JaneSRBRUS, good friend of mine, and his friend Pedrovsky, who I haven't heard of, and they're on team VASCO and Partizan. Yeah, VASCO and Partizan in capital letters. And they're up against Sam8899 and Ghostryderen, and their Team Jacket Potato. It's a pretty baller name. And they're playing 39Y and 35Y, so they're playing Pact. There is no NATO versus Pact forced in this tournament, unlike in the previous iteration of DEFCON 2 in spring. So yeah, this map is it's difficult. It's a difficult map. It's a very grindy map. In many ways, it can be seen as Pact favored because you've got all these small zones that you can MLRS, but NATO does tend to get better infantry than Pact. With the exception of that new 56Y div, that's got a lot of good infantry, but they haven't picked that. So looking at the deployments, there's no point covering every single unit because it's 2v2, so it'll take ages. JaneSRBRUS on 82nd is, as you'd expect, in the town, so he's got all his stuff forward deployed, so he's gonna get there first. And in some cases, he's actually going for the enemy zones here with his airborne engineers and his stingers and so on. And then behind that, Pedrovsky has spotted him a fob for starters, which is very useful in these 2v2s. And 4 Bradleys, Fire Team 84, some Fire Team 84 in cars, Tow Cobra, Chaparral. And then on the right, Pedrovsky is literally just putting like 2 units there. Well, okay, 5. So Bradley, Recon, Scouts, an ITO, a Stinger, and a CV. So that makes sense because there's 6 zones here and there's 2 zones here, and it's kind of hard to get between these 2 zones because it's just a nice flat field. So most of the fighting happens here. I really don't like this map for that reason. But yeah, switching to the opponent's deployment, Ghostryderen, 35Y. So you'd expect, yeah. So he's taken the brunt of the town, and he's also spotted a recon helo for Sam889. So Ghostryderen here is bringing a bunch of ATGMs, Descent Conkers, which yeah, that's not gonna. What's right? Okay, so these guys have decided that they're just gonna take India and Alpha, but the middle of the map is Delta Charlie India. So from their deployment, they're going to be in a It's kind of hard to tell because the map's colored kind of weirdly. It's one of the non-default ambient settings. So they're giving up 2 zones at the start, which is really going to put them behind. And yeah, Ghostryderen, he's holding Alpha, but Delta Charlie India is the mid, and so not going for those zones at the start is kind of tough. But these are the qualifiers, so there are inherently going to be some unmatched games here, poor matchups here, and then yeah, Sam889, he is actually going for Delta, but his mate's not, and by the time he gets there, the airborne's going to be there, and on the left he's got some tanks, some Bruisers, like 3 tanks, 2 Bruisers, so armored push, hopefully going to golf. So we'll see what happens. We'll cast the game. We'll do it from this perspective because Team Jacket Potato is the superior name. Right, so they're off, and I'd like to take the time to thank the generous channel members. They get their names on the screen, they get exclusive videos, they get the videos early, and they make it so I don't have to worry about ad revenue. So I don't have to watch what I say too much, although I no longer name the Soviet ATGM because I keep getting demonetized off that, and it's kind of annoying me. So, you know, Ghostryderen, they've just not played this map, I guess, because or you know Sam has, but he's not told his mate because they've just given up two zones basically at the start. So Jane, like, he's got guys going straight in there because he assumed he'd get there first, which would have been risky if the 35Y guy had actually taken this at the start. So that's really rough. Like, he's got all these guys in helicopters, but what's that accomplishing? They should have been sent over to here. And then you get that zone and get the guys in cars over to here. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. So Blue's already ahead, and they're on a +8 because they opened 3 CVs and their opponents opened 1 CV, 2 CVs even. There must have been one here. So now he's going for there, but they've just left. So that's just like you're just giving your enemy +4 point lead basically. It's tough. And some poor synchronization between these players because, like, Sam's got the MO. He realizes that this is the front line, but his teammate, the guy with the forward deploy, has not twigged. So he's loaded them all back up into their helis, and I wonder where they'll go, because if they come over here, it's going to be a slaughter. Because the enemy's got here now, and like Janie's going forwards, he's like, oh, there's nobody here either. That's weird. So that is rough. So now I think what Sam really needs to do is, because this outnumbers this by quite a bit, although he doesn't have recon with it, except the recon helo. So recon helo's got to sit back here somewhere, out of stinger range, and then you get the blob forwards and you try and take this. But I would have preferred some ground-based recon there as well. So, yeah, it's not fantastic. I don't know how much these two guys have played together, because like now he's going for this zone, so he recognizes that he needs to cap it, but he's not put anybody there. So it's not fantastic. And yeah, so he stopped because he's like, oh, actually, there might be somebody there now. And there is. I mean, he could get in, but because this is behind there. So, yeah, it's really not fantastic. And, like, this is a big point investment if you're not going to do anything with it. This is a much better way of doing things. Like, light defense, because you expect nobody to attack there. Main push is here. Whereas this is, like, a significant point investment, so he should be attacking with it. He shouldn't just be sat there. So he's sending the healers over here now, which is good, but that one he has routed, and when they route they don't land, they just start freaking out and dying, which is really dumb, but that's the game. So yeah, they've started to contest this. The A-10 rocket, will it see the command? It doesn't, but it gets a bit of infantry. SC-27 cleans it up, and it's going to fly over one stinger. The stinger misses. This thing's got 30% ECM. Double, okay, so the 35Y doesn't get the good ones. But yes, this is quite a weak vehicle. Its effective fire rate is much, much lower than the regular grad. But it's supposed to be like the airborne special, so I can understand buying it, particularly if you've got the FOBs, but you really don't want to be buying it when the enemy's... Well, do you? I mean, the only way to get back in here is to grad it all, so maybe it makes sense, but really this is just like infantry swamping. Yeah, I can understand buying one, maybe, but yeah, they're just so far behind on this +6. An interesting point about the BMP-1P is that the bundle of sticks anti-tank missile, the cigarette anti-tank missile, which keeps getting me demonetized on YouTube, is 17 AP, so it one-shots anything with 3 armor, such as this 70-point Bradley. So even though this is significantly cheaper, because it is significantly worse, they both one-shot each other. This obviously just massively overkills because it's TOW2. So bomber's out, and it's going for what exactly? A stinger team. I don't think that was the play. You see, there's a lot of red dying. He tried to go for the LGB, but he's flying over the stinger net. I think he's going to be alright because these guys didn't unload. Right, yeah, so I get it. If you want to attack in there, you do need to grad it. And here we go. So he is attacking here, but he didn't bring the recon. He didn't bring the recon. His mate needed to bring the recon up. So now this thing is just getting lots of shots off. Like these need to get further forwards because this Apache's going to beat him up. SU-27 shouldn't really be going for the quick fix there with the Eagle on its bottom. The Briusas are kind of bad, so they're not going to get any damage off on that. Maybe 1 damage. There you go, 1 damage. And yeah, the tanks, the Apache is going to rinse them all. They really need to Wow, there was a lot of missing. I mean, they're all low cohesion and stuff. One's on mediocre, so they're doing a lot of missing there. And they're moving, but there you go. Everybody smoke? No, he's right-clicked, so now they're going to show their rear armor. No, they're driving backwards, but yeah, quite predictably the Apache's killing them all, because this AA has less range than an Apache, and it was significantly further behind the Apache, so that is pretty rough. Over here, Ghostryderen has got the standard 80-second airborne problem, where he's trying to attack into enemies that got there before him. So, like, yeah, now that the Bruisers are here, they could actually push this, but he stopped, which gives the LGBTs time to come up, and the Apache can kill all this anyway, because the range on this is so poor that it actually gets outranged by the Mavericks there, 2,800 versus 2,475. So what would have been cool there, Jane, if you're watching, would have been to hit the Bruiser. Because then the Apache can get all these, but he wants the kills. he wants the kills. AA plane went down over there. I didn't see it, and yeah, this is that's an interesting push. 3 stingers, sort of makes sense though. I can understand it. It's working, and yeah, 35Y is significantly weaker than 82nd. The infantry just isn't as good. They get these 7-man teams, whereas the enemy get 10-man teams. I don't understand that. Like, were airborne teams in real life 10 men? Does that make sense? Do let me know in the comments. Please do leave a comment. If you don't want to join as a channel member, that's fine. I mean, I do like money. Yeah, just leave a comment. It's free. It's free. So this guy's still got a Hellfire, you know. So, and then he should get back to the fob immediately, basically, after he uses all his Hellfires. But yeah, there you go. And he's noticed because he just flew into Bruiser range there, and then back out of it. The grads are being used effectively, but it's just that. Oh wow, it's already over. +8. It was on a +8 at the end there. I'm sure I was. Yeah, 2 + 2 is 4. So how does that work? Interesting. So yeah, just a mismatch in. So sadly, it comes up with my profile on one of these players. But it's great to see new people taking part in the tournament. I don't mean to rail on them. I mean, this guy literally has 12 games and he's playing. So, you know, what's your excuse? Do you know what I mean? These guys, they were like, well, let's enter the tournament. We'll have some fun. We'll learn something. Might end up on YouTube. No guarantees. And they had some fun. Whereas you're just sat there and you're not in the tournament. So I'm judging you more than I'm judging these guys. I think these guys are pretty baller. Really good team name. Team Mashed Potato or Jacket Potato. But yeah, Jane, 100% win rate. 1,000 games total. And Pedrovsky, 300 games total. So yeah, do enter the tournaments. And have some fun. And then I can complain about you on the internet. So I apologize if I was a bit too harsh to these players, because yeah, they don't have many games at all. I don't know about Ghostryderen, but you know, yeah, do not be disheartened.